Hello again. I would like to correct a mistake from my last video. This fiber is from Knit Spin, not Knit Spun. It is Knit Spin fibers, and I can comment a link to the page in the store for their fibers, but I would like to make that correction, and I would also, again, like to make a shout out for this beautiful merino I bought from her. Also, I'm going to include photographs of the braid to yarn to finished socks. So, starting on the ribbed part right here, I know that for this I needed 40 stitches, but again, measure your ankle and figure out how many stitches per inch you are working with based off of how you have spun your fiber or your yarn you are using, whatever it might be. So I have 40 stitches on my needle, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to connect them in the round. If you don't know what in the round means, it basically means that I'm going to make a continuous circle like you would a hat or most other projects you would make. It's a little bit more difficult to get it started than it is once you have started it. But for this, I am doing 2 knit, and then I am doing 2 purl. And I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit here so I can get a better look at it. But it's going to be 2 knit and then 2 purl. And I'm trying to find the best way to tape this without using both hands. Again, that's 2 knit. And we're just going to continuously slide it back onto the circular needle, and then 2 purl. Maybe I can bring it a little bit closer. 2 knit, 2 purl. And you want to, when making socks that are going to have ribbing, you want to use an even number so that when you're knitting in the rounds, you're going to end up with 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, and it'll continuously repeat. If you do an odd number, you're going to start with like a knit and you're going to end with a knit, or purl, vice versa. But so that will leave you a place where there are 4 instead of 2 stitches. Maybe that doesn't make much sense, but you'd understand if you made the mistake. Alrighty, so I'm going to knit around in a circle a few times. If you have more questions, you can ask in the comments, but once I get a few rounds going, I'm going to continue. Alrighty, I am back, and I've got a few rows going on my needle. Again, like I said, you want to do an even number. So if you're working with 30 for this pattern, or you're working with 32, I'm working with 40. You want it to be an even number, so as you go around, when you get back to where you started again, you're back to purl. So it's knit, purl, knit, purl. And what that means is you're going to perfectly be able to go around the sock seamlessly, and there isn't a place where there are 4 instead of 2. Now I'm going to go around my hook, and I'll show you in a second one row, but after I cut off the video, I'm going to catch up. I went 33 times around my hook to get this long of a sock neck. Now, some people like shorter socks. A lot of times I make my sock about that big here, and I don't make it as long, but I had wanted a pair that had a longer neck. Of course, when you actually wear these socks and it actually stretches out quite a bit, it's not as long as you might think that it would be. But so from here to before we start the heel in the next video, you have to figure out how far up your ankle you want it to be. We are going bottom down, and I would suggest trying it on. Unless you have a really big ankle, you know, try it on as you go. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to try it on at the beginning because the needles are too small for it, but if you can try it on, that's fine. But just get an idea of, you know, how far up your ankle you want it, because that decides how long it is until you get to the heel. So I'm going to show you a round about the needles, And then I'm going to give us some time to get to where we'll be at the heel. And again, this is not really a pattern. It's more of me trying to show people that socks can be easy. So we put 40 stitches on our needle. We connected them and we're going around in circles, and we're going to put on our needle however many rows we want the length of the ankle cuff to be. And then we're going to cut off the video until we get to how long we want it, and I will show you in the next video how to decrease and increase to do the heel. And there is a little bit of a close-up on how your heel is going to end up looking. This is where the crochet hook comes in. Now for this pattern, you're going to have to know at least how to knit and purl. That's pretty much all you're going to have to know: casting on, knitting, and purling. So here I have got to figure out a way to make this a little bit closer without being so actually close. So I will zoom in, give myself a little bit of room. But here we have our needles, and again, bear with me, I'm trying to find a way to show this better. I'm going to purl, meaning I'm going to put my strand of yarn over my needle, and I'm going to go into the back of this right here. And I'm going to pull through and off. So let me see if I can get that a little bit better. Again, I'm only showing this if a person does not know how to purl, and I can do a better video on just that if a person has questions about it. But you're going to put your yarn over your needle. Slowing things down always makes it harder, it seems for me. And you're going to put your needle behind this loop, and you're going to push it. You see, you're pushing that yarn through that loop, and you're going to slide it off. And that's a purl. A normal stitch, you're just going to go in the front and pull it into. Through the front of the loop and pull that strand through. So, again, you're going to probably have to know, if you actually want to make these, how to knit and then how to purl. But besides that, it's pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knit and purl my 33 rows. And once I get to the heel, I'm going to come back and do another video for you guys. I'm sorry if the videos are slow. If you have any questions and I'm not explaining something well, just let me know. But again, we picked our yarn. We figured out how many stitches around we needed for the ankle. For me, with this yarn, I needed 40. It's best to try to find an even number to make it so that you can do the knit and purl. Of course, you could always do 3 knit and 3 purl and try to figure out a way to work that into it instead of 2. You know, you don't have to do 2 and then 2, because this pattern that I'm working is a 2-2 pattern, 2 knit, 2 purl. You can always go with a 5 knit, 5 purl pattern, and then you could do something, you know, like 40 would be 20 ribs instead of how many ribs I have now. But if you have any questions about how to figure that out for yourself, just let me know. But you're going to figure out how big you want around your ankle. You're going to put it onto the circular needle. You're going to figure out if you want it ribbed. I would suggest ribbing the ankle cuff at least of a sock. That's it will slip off pretty easily if you don't put some kind of ribbing in there. And then you knit however many rows you want your ankle to be, and then stop when you're at the point where you want to start the heel. So remember, you're starting the heel at your stopping point. It doesn't actually cover your heel. And I will be back for the next video with you guys. And again, if you have any comments, just let me know. Thank you so much.